This was supposed to be America's new plan, to build an army to defeat Islamic State in Syria from the ground as well as the air. The US military had already supplied weapons to select rebel fighters. But they made little difference, and many fell into the wrong hands, so it was time for a rethink.
President Obama said he wanted a moderate rebel force that could take the fight to Islamic State and, crucially, hold territory. More than 5,000 were supposed to be trained in Jordan and in secret camps here in Turkey. But almost immediately, the plans started to fall apart. Only 60 have actually finished training. And when they were deployed across the border not far from here, what happened to them was nothing short of disastrous.
America's new plan rolled into action a few weeks ago when the men from the 30th Division, fresh out of US training, crossed into Syria. Their mission? To fight IS and the regime. But they were stopped and attacked by another group, Al-Qaeda's franchise in Syria, the Nusra Front. Angry at being targeted by US warplanes, they took revenge on America's new fighters. 5 were killed, more than a dozen captured, others are in hiding. And the new plan looks shaky at best. Now, Captain Al-Wawi has decided to speak out to the BBC. He's an officer with the 30th Division, and he's watched in horror at what's happened to his men.
In reality, we've got no international guarantees to provide cover for our fighters or to protect the 30th Division.
And yet the Americans have announced very clearly that they will provide air support to the 30th and to other groups.
You know what happened to us? We told those responsible 10 hours beforehand that the Nusra Front were going to attack us. But it was 2 hours after the fighting started that the coalition bombed Nusra. And they didn't support us during the fighting.
But the Pentagon's told us it thinks the battle was actually quite successful. A spokesman also said the training program will be turning out more fighters. Meanwhile, Islamic State has yet to feel any threat from America's new force in Syria.
How come Daesh is created in less than 12 months, fights the entire world in Iraq and Syria, and occupies half of those countries without international support? And this plan, that's backed by many countries, trains just 54 fighters in 6 months.
As Syria's war gets ever more complex, so the conflict only grows. Millions uprooted, hundreds of thousands dead, and still no end, no solution. Ian Pannell, BBC News, on the Turkey-Syria border.